All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. Almost said something different because I have a fly in my brain. How about that? Okay, why don't we take a look at the prices, because that's really what you want to take a look at, right? You don't want to hear me talk. Let's talk about corn. It's up just a little bit here, right? We're a penny and a quarter better. March is up a half cent. 6.83 is last there. May is up a penny to 6.81 even. So that's not a bad board. Dees, the new crop, trying to get above 5.90, but we just can't hold it, can we? 5.89 which is up 2 1/4 cents. Let's take a look at new soybeans, right? We'll start with soybeans. 25 1/4 cents higher in the front. Man, March on a roll here. 15.34 3/4 is last. Less than a penny off of the highs. May is up 25 cents to 15.29 and that is a half cent off the highs there. Let's go see what we've got going on in the new crop. We were well above 13.60 last time we visited, making a run to 13.70, and we are 13.68 1/4. There you go, up 17 cents. Not bad. Maybe we'll find that $14 level. We'll see. How about wheat? Wheat in Chicago. Let's talk about that for a second. Wheat in Chicago is up 4 3/4 cents to 7.54 3/4. Right in the middle of the day's range, basically. May is up 5.5 cents to 7.64 1/4. What about the hard red wheat? Kansas City, the old HRW down at KC, going to the Super Bowl. 7 1/4 cents higher in that March contract. 8.76 is last. And that's in the middle of the day's range, too. May's up 7 1/4 cents to 8.69 3/4. How about spring wheat? Let's go to Minneapolis. Let's see what's going on up there. 2 1/4 cents higher. That March contract to 9.23 3/4. May up 2.5 cents, 9.16 3/4. Let's see what we've got going on in cotton. And we're going to get to our next guest analyst. Cotton's down almost 200 points. 198 points lower in that front month. March 84.91 is last. 31 points off the low. So let's bring in our next guest analyst. It's going to be Todd Horowitz. He's with Bubba Trading. He's right now in Las Vegas. Todd, thanks for being on the show.
It's great to be here, Scott.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a decent board today. A little bit of green on the screen. If you're a producer, you should be happy-ish, I guess. But in your mind, what's changed? What's not changed? What's going on?
I don't think anything's changed, Scott. I think that we're in a very lackluster market in general. I think everybody's probably now waiting for the Fed on Wednesday and the jobs report on Friday. I haven't changed my overall opinion that I think we're going significantly higher. We've been able to hold these bottom levels, when they get down there, and then they bounce right back. I would expect to see the same. I would expect to see a rally, and it'll probably fail until we get through all this data, because we have no volume anywhere, Scott. We have no action really anywhere in any market that is really worth talking about.
Yeah, that was one of the questions I had from one of our last analysts, and he said pretty much the same thing. It's been fairly quiet. But I just hate the idea of having to wait around for the March acreage report to get something going here. I mean, obviously we've got some weather reports down in South America that have put beans on the forefront here, but are we going to have to sit around here and trade South American weather before we get that acreage report to get an idea about the American crop, or is there something else that we might be looking at before?
Well, I think it's going to come down to money, Scott, and I think it's going to come down a lot to what they do on Wednesday. Do they go up 25 basis points, or do they surprise and go up 50 basis points? I think that's the real point here. I think what's holding back a lot of the price action is, the equities have tried to push higher. It's hard to believe with what's going on in the economy, but they tried to push higher, which with the lack of overall action, there's only so much money to go around right now, and right now it's gone into equities. Of course, we're seeing a little bit come out today, and of course the grains are higher based on that as well.
Yeah, and that's another thing we're always going to have to, well, there are some analysts out there that think we're going to cut rates by the end of this year. I guess I'll get your opinion on that.
I don't think so. I think that the Fed is dead set on getting that 10-year notes up to 6%, and I think they're going to push as hard as they can until they can get them there.
Well, I think there's something to be said for that. I don't know about the 10-year getting that high up there, but there definitely needs to be some sort of jobs reconciliation, because we've got so many different jobs number at cross currents. It'll be interesting to get the jobs number this week, the unemployment number for February, but still a lot of unanswered questions, that's for sure. All right, stay right there. We're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more with Todd Bubba Horowitz with Bubba Trading in Las Vegas after this. Welcome back to Market Day Report. Let's talk about these. We're going to want to talk about these cattle markets first, right? Cow guy wearing a jacket like this, you got to talk about cattle. Let's talk about what's been happening in that market. Let's get over to the live cattle board in Chicago. That's going to be what? Up $1.72 in Feb. Not bad, is it, right? Feb's going to be $158.45 last. April's up $2.25 to $163.07. So decent board in live cattle. We'll take that, right? How about feeders? What's the feeder cattle looking like? We're up here just a little bit, though. Steady better is what I'd say in the old days on the floor. 82 cents higher, and that's 184.30. April's up 85 cents to 188.40. Okay, good stuff there. Let's take a look at lean hogs and see if we can get back to our guest analyst. Lean hogs are a little easier here today by 65 cents in the front. That's Feb. 75.22 is last. April off 20 cents to 86.30. All right, there you go. Let's bring back in Todd Horowitz. He's in Las Vegas with Bubba Trading. Todd, anything jump out at you when we talk about these protein markets?
Yeah, I think hogs jump out at me that they're probably a buy down here somewhere. I don't know when the last time I can ever remember seeing February hogs lower than the closing price of December hogs. And to me, this is getting to a point where they're getting awfully inexpensive and probably look to be bought. And, I think with the cattle markets holding steady and basically trading in those ranges we talked about, I think that hogs are probably a buyer somewhere. And I think that it's more tying into crude oil as we, talk about budgets and jobs, because, again, we've lost over 2 million full-time jobs since last May. So there's a lot of issues out there. And I do think that will bring in some demand for the hog market here coming pretty quickly here.
And back to our previous point, your views on the economy, because that's going to shape a lot of how these things get priced out. Are you bullish or bearish what the current economy is right now?
I think the economy is horrible. I think everything done is horrible. I think not using our own natural resources and buying. You don't think that come May, when it's driving season, that there probably won't be a shortage of oil coming out of Saudi Arabia all of a sudden? This whole mess which has been created has really done a horrible job in handling the overall economy. I don't see any bright news, unfortunately, coming down the corner.
All right. Thank you very much for all your content, Todd Horowitz. He comes to us from Las Vegas. I'm going to bring it back to Nash Vegas so I can throw it back over to Janet.